So what's going on, Gas Gang? Today we are back with another video on the Integra, an update video on the DC5 four-wheel drive turbo Integra that broke on the first drive. Guys, stay tuned for this one. It's going to be very interesting. Let's get it. Welcome to Officially Gas. Let's get it. But before we get cracking, this Saturday, 6 PM, shout out to the Gas Gang. A massive shout out to Devil Developments. They are giving away a free Stage 1 remap for your car. And if you don't know about Devil Developments, you've been living under a rock, because they are one of the best tuners in the game when it comes to VAG, Ford, and loads of other stuff. They're gonna make your car very, very quick, basically. And all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning that is be part of the Gas Gang. It is that simple. And on top of that, here at the Gas Gang, exclusive events, we have got you. Exclusive merch, we got you. Exclusive discounts from some of the best automotive companies in the UK, yeah, we got you. Exclusive behind the scenes, we got you. And of course, early access to the podcast, we got you. And guys, all of that plus more for less than a Big Mac meal. Guys, what are you doing with your life? Check the links in the description. And let's get back to the video. So yes, guys, as the intro said, today we are back down at Auto Talk with the Integra. As you see behind me, it's up on the ramp. And yeah, we're gonna talk through exactly what happened, what we've done to rectify it, and also some interesting stuff that we think was causing some weird things to happen on that first drive, or some things that some people might have noticed and asked a few questions about. But firstly, I also wanna say a massive shout out to you guys, because the respect, the love for this car, for this build has been massive. And it's really good to see, because, you know, we do this for the love of it. And I do it honestly for the culture and the pure passion. And to have built something like this now, or this be the end result of all that hard work and graft and, you know, the months in the planning and building, yeah, it feels like it's paid off. So yeah, a massive shout out to Auto Talk. And 620 brake, yeah, on the face of things, it doesn't seem like a lot of power, but you know, when you're talking about something four-wheel drive, sequential, and this light, guys, as you saw, is absolutely mad. We had a few silly people like, Jamie, yeah, you don't know how to drive, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I kind of, you got to grin and bear it, because like, guys, you already know, like I've featured over like 200 cars, some of the craziest cars in the UK, and you know, I've made it through, like, you know what I mean? I know my way around a car, and this car, guys, this car is just crazy. It's properly rowdy. And yeah, I think that was apparent from the first drive video. But what I'm not gonna do is talk too much, because we've got a lot to tell you. So what we're gonna do is go and have a chat with Josh here down at Auto Talk, and yeah, talk you through some cool things. So let's do it. Josh, welcome back to the channel, brother.
Thank you, mate. You were supposed to have picked it up, take it away, do your first drive video, and you broke it.
Now, it's quite interesting, because a lot of people are like, Jay, you've done this whole build and you're still running stock shafts. It's like, yeah, you know, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's future-proofing and upgrading, and to be fair, like behind the camera, we had spoken about it, and we was like, what's the first thing that is going to break? And we were like, shafts or drum side box, to be honest.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
We was kind of fully expecting it in a way.
Yep.
At the same time, like, we also wanted to see what it was like. Do you know what I mean? See how it was, because having your day for four-wheel drive puts more load on the car, but at the same time, it's almost like distributing the load as well.
Yes.
So we weren't so sure how it was going to go, but
yeah,
we know for a fact that, like, if you was, which you have done, break them, then we're going to just upgrade them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, I mean, we'll get to it in a second, but there might be more of a reason why it broke so quickly than perhaps
yeah, I think there's several factors coming into it. One, the actual launch. Looking back at the video and, you know, seeing like how you was dealing with the launch, etc., you can see that the launch may need a little bit of finessing, a little bit of tweaking, sort of thing. Also, we'll go into it in a minute, but also like the Viscous Coupler itself. We think it was predominantly more front-wheel drive than rear-wheel drive, yeah. Which then again is going to put more load and make it wheel spin and wheel hop or whatever on the front wheels, which is never good for any sort of drivetrain. What else was there? Oh yeah, just general condition of the stock drive shafts. Yes.
Yeah, because we got the other half.
We got the other half down there, which was still in the car. The
other bit I disposed of.
Yeah. So you can see it was just a clean brake / shear. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It just destroyed it. It wasn't actually a CV issue, it was an actual shaft issue. Couple of multiple factors I think have led to this. One, pure shock, pure power, pure torque sort of thing. Yeah. Two, obviously like the hard launch. 3, the fact they're stock, they are quite known for being a little bit weak. But also, if you look at the shaft itself, you couldn't normally see this because there's normally a little dampener on here, on the middle of a shaft that sits there. You can see how corroded that is, and it's probably from where water sat in between this little rubber donut that sits there, and it's just slowly weakened away. Yeah. And as you can see, it is a lot thinner and a little bit more corroded along that point. So I reckon there's multiple factors, but at the end of the day, the stock shaft just gave up and that's it. Yeah. And I ain't gonna complain that stock shaft breaking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It
is what it is. I mean,
it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. It's the best case scenario, pretty much.
100%.
And as people will be able to see now, it's got drive shafts back in it.
It has, yeah. On the day, me and you were sat there thinking, oh, what do we do now? I mean, most stuff for like upgraded drive shaft wise, there isn't much in the UK unless you go custom made and go to someone who might even have a parts or whatever. Whereas over in America, there's a lot of stuff. So I think you've got a place like Drive Shaft Shop, insane drive shafts, which these are. Yeah. So these are supposedly 1,000 wheel horsepower rated. We'll see how it goes. If we manage to break these, we're doing something. Yeah,
exactly. It's me driving. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the cool hard race bits also that we put. I just want to give a massive shout out to Hard Race because they supported us in some of this build because there were some things that you needed or you wanted to make everything run smoothly. Do you want to run us through that?
Yeah, so we can start on the front. Basically track rod ends, so you can see them up here. Yep. So these are reverse mounted track rod ends. Yep. Killing a few birds with one stone there. One centering the rack back up. Once you lower these, I noticed like the actual angle of the arms and the track rod end was quite aggressive, shall we say. And that can lead towards stuff like bump steer and other bits and bobs and other stuff. The other reason I wanted to flip them around was on the passenger side with your exhaust and turbo setup and a little bit of fuel system stuff going on. It was getting really, really, really close. And I just wasn't happy with it. So Hard Race reached out and we basically said, can we have this in this? Yep. And they sorted us out, basically. Sorted us out. So that now sorts out a clearance issue, geometry issue, you know, makes things a little bit more central again. Then on the rear end of the car, we've got some lower control arms. So the other issue I had is obviously with the trailing arms onto like CRV hubs and the four-wheel drive, etc. The geometry is a little bit different, shall we say, on the rear. Certain stuff sits in different places. So I think we spoke about it a long time ago, but about toe insert bushes and like an eccentric insert to get myself some more toe adjustment. Same problem was with the camber arms. So originally you did have some other brand of camber arms on there before, but basically they were too short. So I wasn't able to get as much camber adjustment as I wanted, and I wasn't comfortable with how many threads you had left in this turnbuckle. So that sorted that issue out, and we've got plenty of adjustment, and I'm very comfortable with how much thread you got sat inside now. So there's another problem sorted.
I think what we'll get onto now, and which will probably be the main culprit, and also something that people might have noticed, and something that's really interesting for anyone building a four-wheel drive car using wagon bits, is just over there on a bench. But before we actually get that, I just want to say, once again, a massive shout out to Hard Race. They do loads of different components for pretty much, well, loads of cars, loads of Honda stuff, and links to them will be in the description, so a massive shout out to them. Now, as I was saying before, bro, let's come over here to the bench. Now, a lot of people might not know what this is or what it looks like in this form here, but what we have here is actually the Viscous Coupler. Now, do you want to give people a very brief breakdown of how a Viscous Coupler works, and then perhaps why we have it on a bench, etc.?
Yeah, no, that's no problem. So basically, the Viscous Coupler, so we can use it as a little demonstration. You've got these little plates locked onto this shaft here. You can think of these plates as like A, B, A, B, A, B. Okay, so all the A plates are locked onto, shall we say, this shaft. Then all the B plates are locked onto this outer basket or this outer dish. Okay. So if you was to imagine it like that, the only thing that's locking this and this shaft together is the stuff in between the A and the B plates. Got you. So without anything there, it would just spin, if that makes sense. You know, it would just literally be like that going on. So there's a silicon fluid inside this, and through like heat transfer / friction, it basically locks the plates up and then drives the power from the transfer box to the rear wheels through the diff. That's probably the easiest way of explaining it. We're using this because one, well, a lot of people use them. They're known to be very strong, and it helps to deal with the imbalance of the ratio difference from front to rear.
Got it.
So we reckon what was going on with your car is the viscous was working, sorry, but not to its full potential. So during your launch, and it was going a little bit here, there and everywhere, especially when you're driving, etc. I think a lot of what people are seeing and what you're probably feeling and seeing, including myself, is torque steer through the front. And I think by the time it's torque steering in the front, and when the rear is engaging, I think the rear is almost pushing it into the torque steer, making it a hell of a lot worse.
Got you.
The other thing to take into account is in your Crave gearbox, you have got an LSD as well.
Yep.
You know, so you've got both front wheels being driven, not one's being spun, but then on the rear you've also got an open diff in the wagon diff.
Yeah.
So there's multiple factors playing into it.
Also, what we found when we took this apart, guys, we've worked out that these, we believe, take in and around 300 millilitres of oil.
Yeah,
right?
A lot of research going on, a lot of it over in the States, etc. So they work in ounces and quarts and stuff like that.
Shout out to Javier. I know he'll be watching this. He's been helping out. Javier from TRC.
So,
big up.
yeah, he's been a big help, and so is his contacts. So yeah, I've pulled it apart. Never had one apart, I ain't gonna lie. So it's been a bit of a learning curve trying to figure it all out. I've pulled it apart and there's basically no fluid in there. What you're seeing now, it is literally what you're seeing there. Now 300 ml is not a lot, I know, but there's definitely not 300 ml in there.
Shall we show him something quite cool about the oil too? Should we show him the oil?
100%.
The oil now is over here. Now the oil comes in tiny, tiny little containers, and if there's any remote control car fanatics around us,
they're gonna know what this is.
They might know what this is, and they might be thinking, what the absolute hell? Guys, this is actually RC Diff Oil, meaning RC car diff oil, which is, it sounds crazy to use, but this is what people use. The oil viscosity is the main thing. Now, depending on what viscosity you use, depends on how quickly and how aggressively, would I be right in saying the rear end locks up, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. The fluid is it's a 50k weight that we've gone for.
Yeah.
After a bit of research and digging about, and Javier again, we've figured it and found out that it's not just normal oil and this little viscous coupler. It's something called a silicon fluid. Okay. So when we was actually just playing with it, it's not runny. It's like jelly.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You put it on your fingers, it's like sticky, drippy, and all sorts of stuff. A class this, as a 50k weight, they do have weights of this silicon fluid. The higher the weight, the more aggressive it's supposed to be in the viscous with how it locks up. We don't want to go too aggressive, one, because the viscous is there to allow for a bit of difference front to rear. You go and try and lock it up and almost make it almost permanent full drive. You are going to either wind something up or break something. So we're going for the 50k. Some people recommend higher, some people recommend lower. So, there really isn't too much information out there, and quite a bit of it's quite conflicting. So we're going with 50k, and we're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. If it's too much, we shall go lower. If it's not enough, we can go more.
Go higher. And this is really good because, you know, anyone who's potentially building a car or building them in the future, this stuff is like valuable. Like, you know, trying to find this information, it's not really too much out there. So this is what we're going with, and this is. I'll speak to the camera now. This is in the hope to kind of, you know, eradicate a lot of the front wheel drive bias that you would have seen and saw me experiencing when I've done this first drive. And it's to try and make it slightly slip at the front, but more kind of to the rear, if that makes sense, to get off the line quicker and to kind of hopefully alleviate some of that torque steer. And we're just going to go with the flow. I have got a race, actually. I've got a race coming up, right, for the OG Battles. So this car is actually going to be ready for the OG Battles, which is coming up like 2 days' time. So it is down to the wire, not a lot of time for testing. And if we get it right and then I send it on the track, there's nothing saying that I won't break something else. So it's going to be an interesting watch. But for now, we're just covering the bases that we need to cover, we think, at this moment in time.
I mean, we always had our little suspicions with the viscous. I mean, after testing and launch for the first time, it became quite apparent, like, okay, we might need to look into this. Well, we definitely need to look into this, to be honest, because, like, at the end of the day, it wasn't brand new. It was second hand to you. You don't know where it's come from. Well, we know where it's come from. It was Romania. So we have no idea what sort of life it's had, or you know, whether it's even been apart. I mean, I think it's been apart before, and don't know, basically. So we're just treating it as something new, starting again with it. I'm going to test the soil out, and then in the future, you know, if it has got a bit of a leak or, you know, something's a bit weepy here and there, then we'll just do a full rebuild. At the moment, we're just doing this so we can make it in time for the battles on Friday or whatever it is.
Yeah, which is like 2 days away.
2 days away. And then, yeah, if it becomes an issue where it is slightly losing a bit of oil, then what we'll do is we'll order in one of those service kits that you can apparently get hold of in America.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
get it sorted properly.
Yeah. All right, guys, well, there you go. There's your update. Today has been very techy, so thank you if you're still here at the end of the video. And I mean, this is more so for the people who are going to be following a similar build at some point. But I would say also for the people who are interested in what's going on and what's gone on. So hopefully we'll be back stronger. Hopefully we send it and we win the race, and hopefully nothing breaks. And guys, this is going to be a journey, like, you know what I mean? If something does break, we're going to upgrade it. And to tell the truth, I think next is going to be this little bad boy here, the transfer box. But we'll see, we'll see. If it doesn't break, it doesn't break. But yeah, hold my beer is all I'm saying.
Yeah, please don't.
Josh is like, no one hold his beer. But yeah, guys, listen, if you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Next video you'll probably see of this will be me hopefully winning a race at the OG battles. And yeah, once again, a massive shout out to Hard Race, links to them in the description. Massive shout out to Josh, the main man, and obviously Auto Talk. And yeah, guys, we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.